Okay, this is Mrs. Rouse. Enjoy it. Some things you're going to be doing today. You'll need, if you don't have a ruler, you're going to be okay, but you'll probably like it better if you have a ruler. Other things, your eraser, your pencil sharpener. I almost always use the 2B pencil. That's why I gave you an extra one. Pair of scissors, and then this worksheet that looks like this. If you don't have one, I'll have it attached to the assignment. So go ahead and stop the camera now, and you need these 6 pieces of paper. The 3 small pieces of construction paper that are white, gray, and black, and 3 larger pieces of construction paper, white, gray, and black. So you need everything you're seeing right here. So what's going to be happening, so stop the camera if you need to go get supplies. What's going to be happening, and I'm kind of moving things out of my way here, is we're doing an assignment where we're going to be making a design out of construction paper squares. And in our design, built into this assignment are things like repetition. You see all the different contrasts, large and small, different values, and so on, movement, and so on. So there's a lot of compositional things built into this project. And here's another sample here that a student has done. So it's going to be really fun. And I'll show you when I get ready to start designing the project, I'll talk more about the compositional aspects. But that's where we're going with this. For the time being, you're going to need some really specific things. And so I'm going to get you started with this. First of all, this is kind of my notes, and I want to leave it here so that you can read it while I'm talking, because it's very important. You're going to need to refer back to it. Everybody in my class needs a certain amount of squares that are 5-inch, 3-inch, and 1-inch, and the different colors we have: black, white, and gray. So black, almost all my students choose a black background. So black is your dominant color on this assignment. It does say down here, if you want yours to look a little different, it'll be very similar. You can switch the 2 colors just for a different look. But I'm just going to explain it as if you chose black. Okay, so you have a black background. The other colors all have odd numbers. Remember, odd numbers are great, but we're slightly limited with the black. So your black background sheet right here, save that. Do not cut into that. That's very important. One thing I've done is I've given you this pattern here. You can use it to help you cut out squares. So what you do with this one is you put it right on top of your paper. Obviously, you can only use it once. So if you really like this idea, you're not into measuring things, maybe you could take it over to your printer and make more copies of it. So the idea here is to use this as the numbers on this worksheet. So you would write with this paper on top of the other paper, and just the squares that you're seeing. So for instance, if I want to cut out all these 1-inch squares I need for black, I want to hold this, keep this as nice and neat and even as possible. I could go like this first. Actually, got some more 1-inch squares right there. And cut there. And then continue to use this as a pattern. Like I said, I only gave you one of these, so if you want to, there's a little piece overhanging, copy that before you start, that'd be fine. So here I go, here's my 11 black. You're going to need to do some other things. So let's say you use this pattern I gave you and you used up all these. To cut and measure that works really well. Get rid of these little paper pattern pieces. Don't use them for your white. They won't match the rest of the project and they'll end up looking kind of terrible. So here's my 11 squares right here. Needed for black. I just have to pull that last white one out. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. So you can use this to cut all these pieces. You'll be done with black. When it comes to the other two colors, you're going to need a lot more. So let me show you something that'll help you work fast. Use it. So with my white, I'm going to need 3 5 inch. So I can take my ruler, 3 times 5, that's 15 inches. Well, obviously this way it doesn't fit. So if you measure them all at the same time, it's going to make them more even and they're going to be more accurate. So I'll just go like this. 5. I could say that about 100 times in this class. Everything twice, that's how you know you have a straight line. If you only measure something once, you really don't know if it's bent or not. So everything always gets measured twice. So those are 5 inches, and then I'll go 5 inches here. Once, got to measure it again. Twice over here. I can draw my line across like this. Now that might seem like it took me a while, but I'm getting them all measured at the same time. They're going to be accurate. It's going to be neat. And believe it or not, taking the time to do it this way, kind of in strips, will save you some time. So let's say after I cut all these large 5-inch squares of white, let's say I wanted to cut them of the 1-inch. Tons of paper to cut up. So I need 15, so I could just make a little diagram here. Make it 3 by 5. 1, 2, 3. Measure out here 5 inches. Just want to kind of show, if you take it's going to be more accurate and more fun. Let's see. I didn't do I drew the line, but I didn't measure it. So here's one. And here's another. Then all I have to do is go like through that line. By the way, if you miss on a line, what you do when you're a nice grown-up artist is you go fix it. I make mistakes. I'm definitely not a perfect person. Okay, got a couple. To make kind of a chart of the squares you need. Other things I want to mention, so here's my 15 1-inch white squares. So if you kind of draw them out like that, it's going to go faster for you. Measure, Mrs. Rouse, can't measure. You can always start tracing some of the cutter, like maybe someone does crafts and they have a paper. Yes, you can use it. You kind of free pass this once. It's not going to come in handy very often, but it is cutting paper like crazy. You're going to need to cut everything you see on this chart. So the 2 black 5-inch squares, 3 black 3-inch squares, 11 if you want to. Then copy it. You can keep using it for more things. Then with the white, you need 3 5-inch, 7 3-inch, bright color and you need a lot of it. So everybody same amount of squares. I want to make sure you have plenty of squares to start with. Your assignment today is only put it to the assignment. That's all you have to do today. It's important that you cut out everything. Ding, 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 ding. So other comments, please. I'm sorry, but the creativity will be in the design, so please don't be creative. I would just wait on this assignment only if you don't mind. So use the time to catch up on something else while you're waiting to get the supplies. You may switch white and black. I said that. Just be careful you switched it. You must cut out all the squares. I know 30 is a very large number, but sometimes in life you cut 30 1-inch gray squares. It's just part of the assignment. So all you have to do today, I know you can do it. It says here, do not glue. I don't want you to start the assignment. Please do not make it look like those samples I showed you. I'm going to talk about that again. Don't glue. All I want you to do after you cut them is put them on a piece of paper, photograph that you cut them out, and that's your assignment for today. So pretty doable, and you could have a movie on or music or whatever you need. I showed you a couple different ways to cut. Thank you very much, and hope you enjoyed today.